Salamander, SaiyanSalamander here, and E3 2021 is right around the corner. So I thought I'd tell you guys what my predictions for the show this year are, and maybe put a couple of hopes of mine into the universe, in hopes that they'll come true. Now, I'm mostly a Nintendo fanboy, so literally every single one of these predictions have something to do with them. But there are some things which I'll leave to the end that are related to Nintendo, but I don't think will be in their presentation. But I'll get to those later on. So I think the safest bet to make is that we're gonna get a new Smash Bros. Character announcement during this Direct. Honestly, I could see us getting the last two characters of the past revealed at E3. After all, last time E3 was on in 2019, we ended up getting Hero and Banjo, so I could definitely see it happen. I figure there's no point trying to make a guess on who the character will be though. I've got a feeling we'll start off the presentation with a first party character, who I'm hoping will either be Lana from Hyrule Warriors, a different Zelda rep, or Yuden from Dragalia Lost. And then E3 will end with the final character of Fighter Pass 2, which will be a third party character, who I'm hoping will be Neku from The World Ends With You or Sora. Maybe we'll even get a third Fighter Pass or an extra bonus character that'll be revealed at a later point. I'm not going to get my hopes up though, since Sakurai and the team deserve a break, but at the same time I'd be hella hyped for a chance at even more of my most wanted characters to get a shot in the game. There's plenty of old Nintendo series that are just dying to show up again on the Switch. Just so many years of being absent. It's been 17 years since we got a new F-Zero game, 7 years since the last Donkey Kong game, besides the Switch port of Tropical Freeze of course, 5 years since the last release of Star Fox, and 11 years since the last installment of the Golden Sun series. Of all these games, I'm going to pin my hopes on Golden Sun, with it being the series' 20th anniversary this year and all. And in order of most likely to least likely, I can see Star Fox, Donkey Kong, and finally F-Zero being the least likely of the bunch. The reason why I didn't mention Kid Icarus here is, despite how much love I give the series, is that with Sakurai still working on Fighter Pass 2, I just don't see Uprising getting a Switch remake, or just a brand new game in general. I'm still holding out a little bit of hope with it being the series' 35th year anniversary this year, but I'm not going to hold my breath for it. Another series that hasn't had a new addition in a while is the Metroid series, but unlike the other series, we've already had a new game announced for it with Metroid Prime 4. It's been 4 years since the game was first announced, and 2 years since it was announced that development for the game had restarted. So I think we're either finally getting our first trailer of Metroid Prime 4, or we're getting the announcement of a Metroid Prime Trilogy HD collection for the Switch. We're just getting the first footage of Prime 4 at E3 2022 instead, 5 years after the first announcement for the game. Could even get both, a small teaser trailer for Prime 4 with the game releasing either in 2022 or possibly 2023, and the Prime Trilogy coming out maybe holiday time this year. It would defo keep Metroid fans happy while waiting for the new installment to the series. Like Metroid Prime 4, there's some games that have been announced for the Switch that I know a lot of people are waiting on news for, and I think we're going to get some trailers for possibly all 3 of them. Funnily enough, they're all the third installments for each of these series. We've got No More Heroes 3, Bayonetta 3, and Splatoon 3. No More Heroes is supposed to be coming out in August, so I imagine we'll get one of the final trailers before the game releases here. With Bayonetta 3 and Splatoon 3, I'm thinking we might get a trailer and a proper release date for both. Though they may just leave Splatoon 3 as a 2022 title, or maybe they'll narrow the release date down a bit by saying which quarter of the year the game will release instead. So with Zelda's 35th anniversary being this year, we've already had a ton of things for the franchise confirmed already. There's Age of Calamity DLC coming, Skyward Sword HD this summer, and Breath of the Wild 2, and I think there's a very good chance we see a trailer for all of these things. But I can see us getting even more things announced as well. Maybe another HD remake of something like Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask, or maybe we'll get a port from a Zelda game that's already got a HD remake on the Wii U, like Wind Waker or Twilight Princess. There's probably going to be some Zelda stuff added to Animal Crossing like there was for Mario Anniversary last year, and they could definitely add some more items to celebrate the other series like Metroid and Kid Icarus. Another Nintendo series which I think is going to get a lot of new info from this Direct is a personal favourite of mine, Fire Emblem. I definitely think we're getting at least one announcement for the series, but I'm kind of thinking we might get 2 or 3 announcements instead. I think we're going to get some kind of remake like Genealogy of the Holy War, Blazing Blade, or even a port of a 3DS title like Shadows of Valentia on the Switch. With an announcement for the next big Fire Emblem title announced for 2022 or 2023. Maybe we'll even get a new spin-off game for the series too, like Fire Emblem Warriors 2, or a Fire Emblem fighting game announced too. But I don't think we're going to get that much Fire Emblem love sadly. I'll be hyped enough with 1 or 2 mainline entries, but I really wanted to mention a spin-off game, just in case IS surprised us with a new one. Let's keep on track with the first party announcements during this E3. We tend to get Kirby games pretty regularly, so I wouldn't be surprised if we got a new addition to the franchise announced during this presentation. ARMS is another series that I wouldn't be surprised if we got a new game in the series. We just got Min Min in Smash last year, so I think there'll be a lot of new players who will be down to try the series out after being introduced to it through Smash. Miis are something that I've been really wanting to see more of on the Switch, since even though you can make them on there, they still feel kind of forgotten to me. I was really happy to see Miitopia get a new game on the Switch, so next I'm hoping to hear another Mii sports game or Tomodachi Life announced. But it might be a bit too soon after Miitopia's release, so it's something I could see them saving for a Nintendo Direct later on in the year. I'm really feeling like we're gonna get something from Monolith Soft this presentation. I'm thinking it's either gonna be Xenoblade Chronicles 3 potentially, since it's been 4 years since the second one came out, and now's the perfect time to ride the hype train with Pyro's inclusion in Smash a few months ago. But considering how there was a 7-year gap between Chronicles 1 and 2, with X coming out 5 years later after the original, and 2 years before 2, so maybe we'll get a port of X on the Switch announced this year, with Chronicles 3 being announced sometime next year instead. I know we've got Mario Golf Super Rush coming up soon, but aside from that, we don't really have anything else coming up Mario-wise, so I think there's definitely going to be some Mario-related announcements at E3 this year. We haven't had a 2D Mario game in a while, so I'm thinking maybe we'll get another one of those next. Or they could give us another 3D game. I know a lot of people have been craving Odyssey 2, so I wouldn't be surprised if we got that, or just the next 3D installment to the series. I really want to see something from Mario Kart though soon. I know we've just got the toy collection and a mobile game, but I really want to see a new mainline addition to the series, or at least more DLC for Mario Kart 8. I got the game on the Wii U when it first came out, so it feels like I've been playing the same game for Mario Kart for 7 years now. So I really want some new tracks and characters to really change up the game, and make it more enjoyable for me again. Another spin-off Mario game I know myself and a bunch of others would love to see is Mario Strikers. I think that's probably my favourite Mario spin-off game, and I've got so many amazing memories playing it on the Wii. So I'll go mental if we get an announcement for this year's E3, and I'd honestly prefer it over any mainline or spin-off Mario game that they could possibly announce. Going from the company mascot to some newcomers for the community, I'm thinking we might get a brand new IP that'll get announced at E3. Apparently Monolith Soft has been working on something at the moment, so I could see them announcing a new franchise instead of Xenoblade 3. But maybe Next Level Games or another company will be helping Nintendo add a new franchise to their first party catalogue. I'd be pretty interested to see what Nintendo's take on a Battle Royale would be, since I think that's the main genre they haven't explored yet. Or maybe they'll go back to the old 64 days and work with Rare or Playtonic and make a new collectible platformer like the old Banjo and Kazooie and Donkey Kong 64 games. Whatever they do, I'd just love to see what Nintendo has up their sleeves. Whatever genre their new next IP will be, I'm sure they'll add a fun and unique twist to the genre to make it really interesting. This announcement isn't for a game, but instead is for the rumoured Switch Pro that's been talked about for years. I've had some people think it'll be announced before E3, but I don't know why they do that when E3 is the best time to announce new stuff. I think they'll either announce it at the start of a presentation and show what it can do before showing all the games they have, or they'll show it at the end of the Direct, and reveal that all the footage of these new games that they've announced were taken from the Switch Pro, to show off the power of the new system compared to the original Switch. I wanted to save these predictions till last since I don't know if they'll end up being in a Nintendo E3 presentation, or in a different presentation like the Square Enix one. I don't think Atlas has a presentation, so I think a Persona port is something that'll be announced during the Nintendo presentation. I've been dying to play the Persona series, and I know 4's on PC, but I'd prefer to play 5 Royale first, since I'm more attached to the characters of that game already. And since it's an older game, I'd rather play Persona 4 on the Switch, so that if I'm replaying it, I can play it on the go if I want. I'm also really hoping for Nier Automata and Kingdom Hearts will come to the Switch too. I know, they're both already on PC, so I have access to both. But it would be nice for them to reach the Switch as well, so that they can reach an expanded audience, and maybe increase Sora and 2B's chances of getting to Smash one day. Finally, this game isn't a port, but I figured I'd mention it anyway, since it's a Square game. But Near the What Ends With You is releasing this summer, and it's coming out onto the Switch and PS4, so I'd be shocked if we didn't get a new trailer for the game, or at least a mention of the series at E3. But I expect it to happen during Square Enix's presentation, instead of Nintendo's. And lastly, we've probably got Pokemon Presents that we're going to get alongside Nintendo's E3 presentation. I think we're definitely going to get a new trailer for the Gen 4 remakes and Legends, and I'm really hoping we'll get a trailer confirming new Mega Evolutions this time around. I've also got a feeling that we'll get another new Pokemon game announced. I've heard a couple of people talk about Stadium 3 potentially, but now that the Pokemon series has moved onto the Switch, I feel like it's better to just add in more Stadium style animations to the main series, rather than making it a separate game. The main side series that I want to see remade are Conquest, Explorers of the Sky, Ranger, and since it's Ranger's 25th anniversary this year, I think we're gonna finally get a remake. Especially since Mystery Dungeon Red and Blue Rescue Team was remade for its anniversary last year. I think a Sky remake would be what I'd be most hyped for at the moment, but since I'm still slowly making my way through the post-game of Red and Blue Deluxe, I don't mind really waiting a bit longer for that to happen. I think that's all the predictions I've got, so I hope you enjoyed the video, my dudes. If you did, please like the vid, subscribe to see more content, including my live reactions to the E3 presentations coming up, and comment on what you'd personally like to see. If you want to hang out more with the community, or you want to see even more content from me, like live playthroughs of Kingdom Hearts, Fire Emblem, and more, then go check out my Discord server and my Twitch channel, that'll be linked in the description below. Also, huge thanks again to Jarrett for editing this video. Like always, his YouTube channel and Twitter will be linked in the description below, so make sure to go and check him out. Thanks again for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one, my dudes. Until next time, bye.